As a second stimulus check debate heats up, a new deadline is delivered for the first stimulus check that no one saw coming. Plus, is your business prepared as a second wave of the pandemic could hit this fall? Breaking news today for Saturday, May 9th. This is LALATE. As always, like and subscribe to this channel, but we have some shocking developments about the second stimulus check today that we didn't see coming. First, as Congress debates a second stimulus check, whether it's $2,000 a month for 6 weeks or multiple checks or multiple stimulus checks, the IRS dropped a bombshell. And the bombshell is that if you've not received your first stimulus check and want to receive it by direct deposit, you have only until Wednesday to get that information to them. The IRS just today issued a deadline of noon Wednesday, May 13th, to submit your information for direct deposit of your first stimulus check if you've not received it. No one saw this coming. What makes this shocking is that if you do not go to the IRS's website and submit your information for direct deposit because you don't want to do it or you forgot the deadline, then your check for the first stimulus check would come as late as this month, late May, or even as late as the end of June, says the IRS. Nothing anyone had seen before. The IRS is telling people about this deadline to move quickly under the stimulus check program. Quote, "We want people to go visit My Check Payment before noon Wednesday's deadline so they can provide their direct deposit information," IRS Commissioner Chuck Reddick said in a statement. Quote, "Time is running out for a chance to get these payments several weeks earlier through direct deposit. The link is located here." IRS is telling residents to do it right away. "We want the people to visit My Check Payment before noon. If you have a filing requirement and have not filed a tax return for the 2018 or 2019, you must file a 2019 receive the payment. If you're not required to refile a 2018 or 2019 return, visit non-filers." That's that. Now some other details. LALATE profile today, shocking elements that might be at issue if a second wave of the pandemic hits, and whether your business may or may not be prepared financially or not. Here are the elements. When EIDL, PPP, and PUA hit, and several programs like it were launched in the first stimulus package, a lot of you were left off guard because you were sole proprietorships, you were independent contractors, and when you went to your banks or bank lending institutions, you were asked whether you were a business with an EIN, and you just didn't have that information. Now, LALATE is advising individuals who are sole proprietors, have very small businesses, to immediately prepare the following changes to their organization in the event of a second pandemic, and to perhaps adopt the following types of policies into their organization to provide additional financial strength if a second pandemic hits. What are they? First, LALATE is advising that if you operated originally during the first pandemic as an independent contractor, as a sole proprietorship, that you basically list your business as a Schedule C on your tax return. You really should consider, if you saw problems the first time around, to file an incorporation document or an LLC incorporation and get an EIN. A lot of you saw during the first pandemic hit in March that you went to your bank lending institutions, perhaps for a PPP loan like Bank of America, and were told, come back later. We're not doing sole proprietorships, solos, independent contractors. Yes, we're doing business bankers. It's so simple and not very complex to set up an LLC or an incorporation or get an EIN. With that, all you need to do is go to your local bank, present a copy of your incorporation document, present a copy of your EIN, and you can have a business bank account. That added security will help you if a second pandemic hits and your banking institutions, again, turn their doors closed to sole proprietorships initially and only leave them open to small businesses. But there's more that you can do. Small business insurance is key. A lot of you never thought of having small business insurance and may have had property insurance or product insurance, but a lot of you never thought of having business insurance. Business insurance provides you loss of work coverage. In the event that your business is shut down during a second pandemic, which could possibly hit in fall of this year, business insurance could provide you coverage. The way business insurance works as an add-on is the usual loss of work prong. Now, when you get written for a new insurance policy, make sure you speak with your insurance agent whether or not coverage will be provided if a second pandemic hits for COVID-19 anytime later this year or next year. And if it does, how much business coverage do you have? A lot of policies have a limit on the amount of business coverage that they provide to you. The business coverage concerns loss of earnings. It doesn't concern necessarily overhead. That's also something you need to look at in the policy. But LALATE has more advice for you than even that. It's also disability policies. In light of how COVID-19 has spread and the current CDC warnings are at issue, you might want to also have a disability insurance policy, which are never that particularly expensive. The way a disability insurance policy works is they will provide you insurance coverage if you are not able to work. It's different than medical insurance. It works as a way to provide you loss of work and in some cases also loss of ability to cover your costs of your businesses. Disability policies are written different ways. Sometimes they're just purely loss of work. Other times they cover your expenses, and you need to make sure you have enough coverage for that. So for example, your rent, your utilities, your overhead. Different types of disability coverage policies cover that. So by coupling that with a normal business insurance policy, you can have that type of coverage in the event that COVID-19 hits. Disability insurance will also provide you, if you wish this type of coverage, protection in the event that you have to stay at home because of a family member. What many of you may have saw during COVID-19's first pandemic from March till now, that you were worried or were impacted because of a family member was struck by COVID-19. The coupling of a disability policy may provide you coverage if a family member is sick at home and you need to stay at home and provide help for that person. Moreover, disability policies may also, when you are a small business owner and that business is you and your wife, can cover both of you. And it's that coupling that is great, separate and apart from normal health insurance. Second stimulus package. There's a lot going on this week, and not a lot of chatter from members of Congress as to where they want to go with the package. Last week we spoke to you that they were initially talking about Uber and Lyft drivers getting up to $2,500 for a second stimulus package under a CARE Act 2. The discussion stems from a concern that Uber and Lyft treated allegedly their drivers as independent contractors under classification when they were, according to members of Congress, allegedly employees. Members of Congress want those Uber drivers to be compensated for back pay. They also want those Uber drivers forward to be compensated as employees and receive benefits, health benefits. In California, as we reported on Friday, Uber and Lyft were sued by the State Attorney General's office in California, along with 3 local states, including here in Los Angeles. That lawsuit alleged $2,500 is owed to backed Uber and Lyft drivers, and hundreds of millions of dollars are owed to the state. What has happened here is that a second stimulus package is in essence perhaps stalled, allegedly, because of the drain of the resources of PUA and unemployment assistance on states, allegedly because of Uber and Lyft's classification of you, the driver, as an independent contract, not as an employee. What is the analysis and what is the allegation? The allegation is that when you're an employee, if you had been an employee of Lyft as a driver, Uber and Lyft would have had to pay taxes to the state of California for your services. But they didn't, because you're an independent contractor, as they classified you. Now, Uber and Lyft drivers have applied to states for PUA coverage and have gotten it, and state resources are being drained. States are unhappy with it. They think, in some cases, that Uber and Lyft are allegedly employers and that you are allegedly employees, not independent contractors. And so it's on that sort of basis and calculation that some of the states, including California, are alleging their claims to repay you as Uber and Lyft drivers under CARE Act 2 or under state or federal litigation. So a lot of shocking details today. We've had EIDL grant, SBA EIDL loan, this controversy in the NFL about coronavirus and the preseason being plagued by teams getting preferential treatment because some territories are open and others are not. A lot of big details for Saturday. And of course, what's going to happen next week is processing of EIDL loan emails coming to you and your responses. So many shocking more new details to be expected in the coming 7 days. As always, stay with LA for more.